Hi, and welcome back to a new episode of the Guys Book Club in the Voice Book Club. Yeah. And today we are on extremely special episode because today, guys, we're on episode number 355, guys. 355, which is so many episodes, and I'm so proud of myself and of you guys for watching this great milestone. And guys, if you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you're not familiar with the channel, welcome back. My name is Zach, and I'm the host. And on this podcast, guys, we're working together on our English speaking level and on our communication skills. It's time to stand in front of the camera and to be before the camera. And doing so because I truly believe that English is the number one tool that each one of us must acquire in order to be successful in life. And the second tool that is going to help us a lot is to know how to communicate before the camera. And if you take those two skills and you can combine them together, you can create content to the internet. You can influence billions of people all around the world to exciting and comment about all the stuff and to do it. And I'm hoping that by showing you guys my own journey, my ups and downs, my failures, my success, the obstacles, the bad success that I was facing and still facing from during the process of podcasting 5 extreme episodes per week. You know, everyone comes in, I'm inspiring people like you, the ladies and gentlemen that watch podcast, they like you, to also do the same, to share in English and share message with the world. So let's go. And today, guys, we got this great background. I think it's kind of a atom world, icy world. Yeah, it's looking really savage. And if you want to check out this grand background, you know, you can find it on 321 kabam. You can find it on Good Fun. And this grand background upload to Good Fun, Bananas on Zen. Nimara on 12th of November 2012. And it's downloaded already 10,427 times. And of course, we like it because we want to show appreciation to the and gratitude to the artist who made this grand background. And if you want to download the picture, just need to choose the translation from here. Press download. Right click on the picture, go to Shmirat Menachem in Hebrew and say picture as, or say picture as in English and type down the comment where you want it in your own language. And always you need to guess from where you are all around the world. Press on it. Shmirat Menachem, choose the one to save it on the computer, press save and comment just like that. You will get this grand background on the computer. So thank you very much for Nimara. And thank you very much for the artist who made this grand background for sharing it with us. It's also a really nice picture. And today, guys, we continue our journey with Influence of Psychology of Persuasion, with the Canadian great book. We learned on each episode I learned from it, and I try to implement we learn in the book in my life. See when people try to influence me and just to be aware of it. And yeah, it's really good book. And guys, if you want to check out this grand background, or if you want to check out the book on Robin Baker and the social media account, you got all the link in the description below. So make sure to take them out, like them, and enjoy from them. Guys, if anyone of you want to go to podcast, show them to inspire about because you and they have got time in English because it's a very nice guy. Leave them to know in the comment below so we can arrange it. And guys, you're almost welcome. If you learn something new to the channel. And guys, if anyone of you finishes from me, come up for the podcast, please mention in the comment section below. Guys, if anyone of you learn something new from the channel, maybe something that has said on the book, or maybe you learn your own life lessons or somewhere else, you're always welcome to share it with us, your knowledge with us. The community in the comment section below, so the community can enrich our life and improve ourselves. Thanks to you. So guys, thank you very much. And one is thing, guys, before we jump to the book. If you enjoy the process, if you like the video, if you don't subscribe to the channel, please consider to share your support by liking the video, share the subscribe to the channel, and push the notification bell so you don't forget the ting on each of the extremely exciting episode. I'll come to YouTube, and there's going to be 5 extremely exciting episodes per week. So make sure to check them out, guys. Yeah, you guys want to free for clicks for website, and it's really going to make a big impact on me. So thank you very much. And today is Wednesday, Thursday. Guys, today is Thursday, 12 on May 2022, and the time now is 22:03, and the revision is starting now. So let's go. The total sub count of the channel is 2. We got 2 subscribers. Shout out to you guys. Total views is 386, 68, 168 total views. And the current episodes are going to be released today. It's episode 355. So guys, without an introduction, let's just dive right into the book. So, Influence of Psychology of Persuasion by Robert B. Cialdini. Page 121 to 155. The legend of Annabelle is a many please. Mr. John, please. Mr. John, please. It's John boy. Okay, yeah. So let's go. Now, consumers can ask Angela Lagosi the question about buffering. As a normal human, the natural reaction to this announcement is meaning what does Angela Lagosi have to do with buffering? But this commercial featured several consumers who had apparently been stopped at random on the street. And every one of them had a question for Angela Lansbury about buffering. Basically, what they asked was, Miss Lansbury, is buffering a good product that I should approach or what? Those consumers seemed very earnest. It was as if they had been going around for months ringing the rents and saying, I have a question about buffering. If only I could ask Angela Lansbury, What we are seeing here is yet another example of a worsening problem that has been swept under the rug for too long in this nation. The invasion of consumers from Mars. They look like humans, but they don't act like humans. They look like humans, but they don't act like humans. And they are taking over. Figured 4-6. Just your average Martian on the street. Apparently, I'm not alone in noticing the number of bluntly funny, unrehearsed testimonial ads those days. Only Dave Barry is registered the prevalence to and is labeled as inhabitants consumer from Mars, which is a term that I like. And I've been began using myself. And I've even began using myself. It helps remind me that as regards my buying habits, I should be sure to ignore the tests of those individuals who, after all, come from another planet than me. Night Rider News Service. I know that whenever I encounter an influence attempt of this sort, it sets off in me a kind of alarm with a clear directive. Attention. Best social proof is in this situation. Temporarily disconnect automatic pilot. It's so easy to do. We need only make a conscious decision to be alert to counter fake social evidence. And the smug overconfidence of the exploiters will play directly into our hands. We can relax until the manifest fakery is spotted, at which time we can punch. Pounce. Pounce. And we should pounce with a vengeance. I'm speaking here of more than simply ignoring the misinformation, although this defensive tactic is certainly called for. I'm speaking of aggressive counterattack. Whenever possible, we ought to sting those responsible for the rigging of social evidence. We should purchase no products featured in a funny unrehearsed interview commercials. Moreover, each manufacturer of the items should receive a letter explaining a response and recommending that they discontinue use of the advertising agency that produces so deceptive a presentation of the product. Of course, We don't always want to trust the actions of others to direct our conduct, especially in a situation important enough to warrant our personal investigation of the pros and cons, or in which we are experts, but we do want to be able to count on others' behavior as a source of valid information in a large array of settings. If, in such settings, we find that we cannot trust the information to be valid because someone has tampered with the evidence, we ought to be ready to strike back. In such instance, I personally feel driven by more than the aversion to being ducked. I wrestle at the thought of being pushed into an unacceptable corner by those who would undermine one of my edges against the decisional overload of modern life. And I get a genuine sense of righteousness by lashing out when they try. If you're like me, so should you. In addition to the times when social evidence is deliberately faked, there is another time when the principle of social proof will regularly steer us wrong. In such an instance, an innocent natural error will produce a snowballing social proof that pushes us to the incorrect decision. The pluralist ignorance phenomenon, in which everyone at an emergency sees no cause for alarm, is one example of this process. The best illustration I know, however, comes from a story of one of my students, who was a highway patrolman. After a class session in which the subject of discussion was the principle of social proof, he stayed to talk with me. He said that he now understood the cause of a type of a traffic accident that had always puzzled him before. The accident typically occurred on the city freeway during rush hour, when cars in all lanes are moving steadily but slowly. Events leading to the accident would start when a pair of cars, one behind the other, would simultaneously being signaling an intention to get out of the lane they were in and into the next in 15 seconds. A long line of drivers to the rear of the first two would follow suit, thinking that something, a stalled car or a construction barrier, was blocking the lane ahead. It would be in this rush to cram into the available spaces of the next lane that a collision frequently happened. The odd thing about it all, according to the patrolman, was that very often there had been no obstruction to be avoided in the first place, and by the time of the accident, this should have been obvious to anyone who looked. He said he had more than once witnessed such accidents when there was a visibly clear road in front of the ill-fated lane switchers. The patrolman's account provides certain insights into the way we respond to social proof. First, we seem to assume that if a lot of people are doing the same thing, they must know something we don't, especially when we are uncertain. We are willing to place an enormous amount of trust in the collective knowledge of the crowd. Second, quite frequently the crowd is mistaken because they are not acting on the basis of any superior information, but are reacting themselves the principle of social proof. So, if a pair of freeway drivers decided by coincidence to change lanes, is an identical moment, the next two drivers might well do the same, seeing that the former drivers had spotted an obstruction. The resulting social evidence confronting drivers behind this group would be potent for successive cars, all with the return signals flashing, trying to angle into the next lane. More single lights would go on. The social proof would be undeniable and deniable by then. For drivers to the rear, there could be no question about the correctness of switching lanes. All those guys ahead must know something. So intended would they be upon walking themselves into the next lane, into the next lane Z, without even checking the true condition of the road before them. The drivers would begin a line-long flank assault. Crash. There is a lesson here. An automatic pilot device like social proof should never be trusted fully, even when no saboteur has fed bad in information into the mechanism. It can sometimes go eyewear by itself. We need to check the machine from time to time to be sure that it hasn't worked itself out of sync with the other sources of evidence in the situation. The objective effects are prior experiences, our own judgments. Fortunately, this precaution requires neither much effort nor much time. A quick glance around is all that is needed, and this little precaution is well worth it. The consequences of single-minded reliance on social evidence can be frightening. This aspect of the social proof phenomenon always reminds me of the way certain Indian tribes, the Blackfeet, Cree, Snake, and Crow, used to hunt the North American buffalo. There are two features of buffalo that makes them especially susceptible to erroneous social evidence. Excuse me. First, the eyes are set in the heads so that it is easier for them to see to the side than to the front. Second, when they run, as in a stampede, it is with their heads down low so they cannot see above the herd. As a result, the Indians realized it was possible to kill tremendous numbers of buffalo by starting a yard running toward the cliff. The animals responding to the thundering social proof around them, and never looking up to see what lay ahead, did the rest. One astonished observer to such a hunt described the deadly outcome of the buffaloes and of obsessive trust in collective knowledge. In this way, it was possible to decoy a yard toward a precipice and cause it to plunge over an mess. The leaders being thrust over by their followers and all the rest following of their own free will. Certainly, a flyer was a plane is looked onto automatic pilot would be wise to glance occasionally as an instrument panel and out the window. In the same way, we need to look up and around periodically, whenever we are looked onto the evidence of the crowd. Without this simple safeguard, safeguard against misguided social proof, our prospects might well run parallel to those of the freeway lane switchers and the North American Buffalo crash. Title: Readers Report. Readers report from a former racetrack employee. I become aware of one method of faking social evidence to one's advantage while working at a racetrack. In order to lower the odds of in order to lower the odds and make more money, some bettors are able to sway the public to bet on bad horses. Odds at a racetrack are based on where the money is being bet. The more money on a horse, the lower better the odds. Many people who place the horses have a surprise soup, surprisingly little knowledge of racing or betting strategy. Especially when they won't know much about the horses in a particular race. A lot of times they will simply bet the favorite. Because thought boards are displayed with up to the minute odds, the public can always tell who the current favorite is. The systems that I roller can use to alert the odds is actually quite simple. The guy has in mind the horse he feels has a good chance of winning. Next, it chooses a horse that has long odds, say 15-1, and doesn't have a realistic chance to win. The minute the mutual windows open, the guy puts down $100 on the inferior horse, getting an instant favorite with odds on the board and up to buy 2-1. Now the elements of social proof begin to work. People who are uncertain of how to bet the race look to the third board to see which horse the early bettors decided is a favorite, and they follow. A snowballing effect now occurs as other people continue to bet the favorite. At this point, the high roller can go back to the window and bet heavily on his true favorite, which will have better odds now because the new favorite is pushed down the board. If the guy wins, the initial $100 investment will have been worth it many times over. I have seen this happen myself. I remember one time a person put down $100 on a pre-race 10-1 shot, making it the early favorite. The rumors started circulating around the track. People knew something. Next thing you know, everyone, me included, was betting on this horse. It ended up running less and had a bad leg. Many people lost a lot of money. Somebody came out ahead thought. We will never know who. Somebody came out ahead though. We will never know who. But he is the one with all the money. He understood the theory of social proof. Once again, we can see that social proof is most powerful for those who feel unfamiliar or unsure in a specific situation and who consequently must look outside of themselves for evidence of how best to behave to them. Guys, guess what? This is the end of the episode. Guys, thank you very much. I really appreciate the fact that you choose to invest it with me. And I can't wait to be on Sunday to start the next episode. And it's going to be a next chapter 5, liking the friendly thief. The main work of a trial attorney is to make a jury like his client, clearness the role. And until then, guys, have a great time. Take yourself and there's a bit of party time. Let's go. Until then, have a great time. Take yourself and ביי. Today is Thursday, 12 on May 2022, and time now it's 22:32. And yeah, I did anything today, best my time. Now it's revision. יום חמישי, 12/5/2022, שעכשיו היא 10:24, אז בזבזתי את היום שלי לגמרי. יש עבודה להגיש, זה בזבוז של יום. עכשיו קדימה, אני הולך לרוויזיון, להתראות.